morning, everyone. Welcome to another weekly intentions, CW15 to be precise. I skipped Monday and Tuesday trading day because I had no clear draw on liquidity. I was actually two sided on the majors, so I just said, okay, I'll just wait for one of my higher time frame targets to be taken out, then I'll create the video. And given today's FOMC and Friday CAPI, I think today's the best days to actually drop this. I'm gonna be focusing on just Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday for the week. So, with that being said, I just listed the news we were expecting. On Thursday, we have news by 8:30. Focus will be on New York. Friday, focus will be on New York as well because of CPI. And today, the focus is still on London and New York. Without anything, let me just go straight to chat. Okay. So, the previous week we had this tight range, no clean expansion to either side. My leaving my weekly imbalance intact. So I still wanted to see price trade into the weekly balance from the weekly time frame. On the daily, on Monday we traded lower, and then we just gap heavily lower towards the weekly fair value gap, and we still have that open on the XY. We could get the retracement back into it, and from there get some long in for the XY. Instead of we could get something like this. Okay. On the hold on, let me put this out there. On the daily time frame, on the daily time frame still, we are just still focused on BS for the XY. I want to see this low, the 10th of March low being taken out. Then if we should go down to the 4 hours we still have this heavy gap. I could use look to see price just straight into the gap and simply drop from there. That's one way to put it. Okay. Let me highlight the new daily opening gap out there. Okay. So this is the area where we could see some possible retracement into before we see another expansion leg lower. So I'm bearish on the XY until the weekly fair value gap here gets hit, meaning I'm bullish on currency pairs right now. On EU, the bearish weekly fair value gap has already been hit, and the this flat body high on the GBP USD is still intact. Given we have those low still intact in on the XY, I could use that as once the year gets hit. I want to see price to trade into the weekly fair value gap, and I want to see price to clear out this relatively equal highs plus flat body high here. So that's for the weekly. On the daily, I'll go down to the daily. On the daily, we, as you can see, price just simply expanded heavily today, and we have no real um, form of support for higher prices on the daily I will use um, from the daily time frame. So I'm just going to drop. We still have this relatively equal higher targets on the daily for GBP USD, and we still have consequent encroachment for the weekly fair value gap as target. Let me put that out there. Just a few pins away from that. Let me highlight that. So if we should drop down to the lower time frame, the 4 hours, and the 4 hours, we could see some imbalance where we could use to capitalize for higher prices. I'm going to mark out this one. Okay. So I could get a retracement back into the range, which is this, to go higher. While the XY filling the new day opening gap on GU, on GU, I want to see price trade into this 4 hours imbalance for potential run higher again towards those relatively equal highs up there. I think I'll take this off right now. Okay, I should drop down to the 1 hour for clean, a little bit of clean structure. We have an imbalance we can work with. So I'll be looking at how price reacts inside the imbalances I'm highlighting right now for the day. I'll be looking to take a trade from the imbalance towards the draw liquidity. Focus will be on GU for the day. As we already hit the as we already hit the weekly imbalance on EU, we could see some rejection before we're hitting the consequent encroachment. So to be on the safer side, I will just focus on GU. But I'm expecting price to probably trade below the opening price. So if we get something like from this area, yeah. Yeah, so I could get price retrace back into the 1 hour imbalance if you then so you can see some expansion higher. I can let me just put this out there. Watching out how we close out, we could get an imbalance as well, yeah. And I can use that area as an area of support for higher prices to the consequent encroachment as well. So that's it for the majors on DXY. If I should head down to metals, which is gold and silver, I'm still stuck in between this range high and this range low, where we're trading in currently into the weekly imbalance. I could see some reaction off there, but we have no SMT or anything, and price could just continue bullish. On how we inverse this, I will change my bias to taking clearing out the highs, but for now, we could still see a bit of lower prices for silver. We could get a run lower again to the 61.00650 level. Why gold failed to clear this low, creating some sort of SMT for higher prices. I should go down to the daily time frame. We traded into the daily imbalance here and we traded back into this bullish daily imbalance where we have this clean rejection higher for higher prices. We had an SMT inside of the gap and I'm showing we had this SMT, yeah, and we had this where gold was the weaker pair. So I would still want to see higher prices despite us trading into this daily imbalance as well. But these are the last line of defense for lower prices. If we should invest this daily fair value gap, daily imbalance, I want to see continued higher prices on both asset classes. That'll be all for gold, as I don't have anything new to speak on that. For BTC, I'm still anticipating same thing from the past 3 weeks where I want to see price trade back into the monthly imbalance, then quickly reject from there. Same thing with Ethereum. I want to see a failure of that on BTC top to see a run into the monthly imbalance, and I want to see price clear out the relatively equal high on EU, trading into the monthly imbalance for lower prices. That being said, I don't have any other expectations, and this is all. So, good luck and good trading. Do well to follow up the Discord for constant updates on everything. Thank you.